Hey gang, and welcome to another episode of Try Not to Curse. Fiona is back for another Unhinged episode.
Back again.
Well, as you guys know, when I was talking with Abby, I reached out to both she and Fiona because thankfully they are my ride or die. They are available when I need them for episodes. And also, like, if I just have random shit I need to talk to them about, they're right there with me. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same level. I super appreciate your friendship and letting me just have my moment to just talk about, the random crap going on in the world. So I do appreciate you. How are
judgment.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be getting some dog treat eating ASMR microphone action
It's
right
all
now.
good.
My dog is
I see your dog in the background. I might get distracted
treats.
by her a couple of times. That's all right. She's so cute. I can't. Sweet little Zelda.
Well, we're going to talk about pets.
Well,
right?
and it's a shame because it's just you and I. It's just the audio. So for my listeners, this may not be the best episode because it is a lot of visual that I'm gonna be showing to Fiona. We're gonna be talking. We're talking about my dead cat, and I brought my dead cat with me to the studio. So. We're going to talk about that.
Oh,
yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing this, folks.
Yes.
She decided to unleash this on me right at this moment.
It's a whole visual thing. So
perfect.
My cat I had to put my cat down back in July. The last time I had to be
R.I.P. Very sorry about that.
Sorry, Cash. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
She lived a good life though. She was all right, old lady. But the last time I had to put a pet down was like right at the height of the pandemic. So, still wearing masks.
Oh.
Like I had to sit in my car with my poor cat, like knowing I was there to put her down and wait for someone to come get me from it was a whole thing. And I was also in the process, like we had just started the process of selling my house. So at the time they were like, do you want the ashes or do you want us to take care of it? I said, if you could just take care of it because I'm moving. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ashes. I don't have a place to bury her. So I let them kind of handle it. $165. Okay. Ooh. And it's been a while since I've had to do that with a pet. So I don't know what the going rate is. I don't know what whatever. So this time around, back in July, I had to put my cat down and they had said, do you want the ashes when they're ready? I said, yeah, because now I'm at my place and, we had old information in the file. So after a couple of weeks, I was like, no one's called me about my cat.
Oh.
So I'm thinking to myself like, oh shit, that's right. They don't have any of the updated numbers, whatever. So I called and I said, hey, just wanted to see, and like, I don't like this is like the dry cleaner. I just wanted to see if my cat was ready. Like, I don't know what the lingo, you know what I mean? How do you appropriately say, do you have my cat's remains or whatever?
Yeah. Is it a pickup? Is it a delivery?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I hadn't paid the bill yet.
What's the deal?
Well, so I said, so what's the total? Because I still have to pay the bill. Oh, it's $465. And I'm like, okay, price of
gone up.
I'm thinking, I'm like, price of inflation. It's been 5 years since I put my cat down. So like, I'm thinking inflation. That's what I'm thinking. So I show up, pay the bill. I'm expected to be handed a plastic box because that's what my father's remains are in. Okay. Human being. My father is in a plastic box on our mantle at my home.
You get a plastic bag and then it comes in the box. Yes.
So I get this. And again, sorry guys that you can't see any of this. It's a very nice sateen
a gift bag.
Yeah. Navy gift bag, which, okay, discreet, nice way to, okay, fine. I said, okay, great. And everybody there was wonderful. They all know what the blue gift bag means. So everybody, as I was leaving, we're sorry for your loss. We're sorry for, so it was very kind. Then I get in the car and I look in the bag and there are 2 separate drawstring gift bags in that bag. And I was like, 2 bags? Why are there 2 bags? Okay, fine.
And are they empty?
No. I was just showing. I've already taken everything apart so I can easily show you. So there's no fumbling.
Okay.
So this is what my cat is in. It is a ornately carved wooden box and it's got her name carved into the side. So this is what her ashes are in. Definitely a far cry from the plastic box. Again, my human father has been in. That's what the hospital gave us. This is what the vet. Okay. So I said, oh, well, that's really nice.
The vet gave
this is
that
what the
box?
this is what I got from the vet when I picked her up. This is how
$400.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm so
okay,
then
go on. I'm sorry.
So I'm going further into this bag because I'm like, oh well, that's really nice. I wasn't expecting that. And now mind you, I was like going to Home Goods that week and I was thinking maybe I should pick out something there, like a nice urn or something there. Well, problem solved, didn't have to do that. Okay, fine. This is fine. Very nice.
Very presentable.
So I go in the next box and there's this like black portfolio little wallet looking thing. And I open it up and it's her paw print in like plaster. Now, the very first thought that comes to my mind is, whose job is it to fuck with corpses of pets? That's because they didn't do this when I was with her. I put her down. So she was already dead when they placed her paw in this little plaster thingamajig. So that already is kind of freaky to me. Like, whose job? Like, that's what do you do? Oh, I take dead corpses and I fuck around with them. I think that's just weird, personally.
I mean, that is a job.
Yeah.
You know, people get embalmed and, you know, I'm sure there's people with pets that they want their pet. I don't know. So for lack of a better word, I don't know what's a taxidermy.
On the other side of this is, it's called the Rainbow Bridge poem. Anyone I'm sure can Google it. But it's a Jesus poem. There's some Lord and God in there. And that is not my religion. I am not like that. So it says on the bottom, it says, please place photo of your pet in here.
I didn't know the Rainbow Bridge idea was religiously associated, actually.
There's definitely something with God in there. I forget where it's at. But
that's very presumptuous.
Yeah. So I was like, don't like that. But it says at the bottom, you know, place your animal's photo here. So now I'm like, cool. Now I have to print out a fucking photo because apparently I'm putting a shrine together that I wasn't anticipating setting up for my cat. Okay, that's
Did they provide the incense holders?
No, right. There was no like prayer cards that came with it. I did get a coping for the loss of a companion animal brochure to make sure my mental health is intact, which, okay, thoughtful. I feel a little extreme. Okay. There was also an advertisement in the bag
to get another pet
for memorial reefs, pet reefs. Your pet's cremated remains can become a living underwater memorial reef. So I just have to scan this QR code and contact these folks and send them my cat's ashes, and somehow they'll be turned into a coral reef, which is what a cat wants, to remain in the ocean. Or I mean, the whole thing is very bizarre to me. Okay. I also received this lovely card just saying, you know, condolences. But let me read it to you.
It goes on. There's so much of this package.
This is what I'm saying. Let me read this to you because I read it about 6 times. I still don't know what the fuck it's saying. Okay. So it's a certificate of cremation. It says this certificate will serve as a notice that your pet was cremated by such and such memorial center as an expression of your gratitude for the unselfish devotion and companionship your pet shared with you. The fuck does that mean? The fuck does that mean? As an expression of gratitude for the unselfish devotion and companionship. So I cremated her as an expression of my devotion? I don't understand the wording of this at all. And you seem as equally perplexed.
They need a copywriter on that one.
Right? That one's really bizarre. Like,
so my impression is the whole there's a whole package here, right? Yeah. This is where the $400 is coming in, and I get it. But it's all just a little off,
right?
You know.
And again, and the whole reason I bring this up was nobody asked me if I wanted any of this.
No.
At no point did they say, "Hey, we have this like shrine package for your animal." By the way, someone during the process before we cremate her, is they're going to be putting her dead limb in a thing of plaster to get her paw print. How do you feel about that? Corpse manipulation. And here's an intricate box, and like I don't mind that this service is available. I do, however, mind that nobody had said to me, maybe there's an option. Maybe I would be more than content with a little plastic box because my own father is in one. And
you were expecting dollar menu and they gave you super size me.
I'm saying I was expecting McDonald's and they gave me Michelin star quality, which again, it's lovely, But now I'm like, the fuck am I putting all this shit in my house? Like I you know, you and I talk about storage is always an issue. You know, I have so many tchotchkes and shit. Like I was happy to have just her remains on a shelf, but now I, you know, and me, I hate being wasteful too. So now I'm like, I have to figure out what I'm doing with this paw print. Now I have to print a picture of her because I don't like this Rainbow Bridge poem thing. Now I'm looking at it again. Maybe there isn't a God thing in it. Maybe it was something else that I saw that had God on it. I shouldn't get down on the Rainbow Bridge poem. It's not your fault. Sorry. But yeah, the whole thing was just really bizarre. And then I even got from the Paws of Remembrance, that's who it is, who did the plaster thing. The loving memories of your treasured friend live forever. Deepest sympathies, all that. Okay. It was just so much. So. And then my mom had made the comment, well, maybe it wasn't your pet's paw print. Maybe it was just some generic paw print kind of thing that they include. No. There was a little piece of paper in there. For faster drying time, leave leather-bound flap open. So like they expect you to like come pick this up when it's ready. But again, they didn't have my phone number. So my poor cat sat in their office for like 2 months, poor thing. But yeah, so I'm just going through this treasure trove of random crap, and I don't know what to think. I'm like, my
impression is it's like the idea is all there.
Right.
The cost, I feel like the package you received is equivalent to the cost.
Absolutely.
But there should be options for this.
There should
stuff.
be a
you
conversation
should elect into it. Or I wonder, like, I don't know. Well, you asked the price and they just told you that.
Yeah. And again, they didn't say it. And like I said, at the time, granted, I will say, I do appreciate how they handled it when I had let my cat, when I had taken my one cat, she had to be put down during COVID. And I think because of COVID, it was like they wanted payment like that very day. So like I'm crying and handing over my credit card at the desk while other people are there with their pets to get. So that was very uncomfortable. This time around, they had said, you take as much time as you need and you can go out the back door. Don't worry about payment or anything like right now. We'll reach out to you. So it was much more professional this time around, much more considerate this time around. But like I said, I just hearing that price tag and then seeing what all came with it, I was like, hold on a minute, you guys, like you're really fucking over people. You know what I mean? Like at the very least, have that conversation and say, hey, is this anything that you want? I'm going to say, no, but thanks, you know, because again, like, Listen, I love my animals. I'm going to be devastated when Sailor and Oliver, when it's their time. I know it's a part of life. I know they don't live as long as us. But at the same time, I'm not one of those people that has like, yeah, I have a million pictures of them in my phone, but I wasn't planning on, you know, dedicating a full shelf to my deceased cat. I've got Christmas ornaments with her picture on it. I thought that'd be good enough, you know, but now I'm like stuck with this stuff. I have to figure out what to do with it.
I mean, most funeral homes have that sort of a la carte menu.
Right. Well, that's what I said to my mom.
There's a different price of coffins.
Right. And that's what I said.
So if they're going to do this, they need to provide you the a la carte menu.
And that's what I was saying to my mom. I said that to Joanne. I was like, so you want to get cremated. So I'm going to say to the mortician, she wants to be cremated. And then a month from now, he's going to hand me a gold-plated urn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, talk to me about this first. Like, again, the box is lovely. I'm happy that I have her, that I'll put her on a shelf. But like I said, my own father it's in a plastic box. And then again, throwing in this ad for the memorial reefs, I thought was a little distasteful. Like I get the coping brochure. That's fine. You know, especially if that's like the only companion you have. I get it. But man, I don't know. I was just so taken aback by all of it. So I was like, we need to have this conversation because what the fuck? You know.
I mean, also as a graphic designer who's worked in packaging, you know, it all, the color themes tie together. As I said, you guys can't see this, but I mean, it is a package. They have someone in marketing doing this.
Right.
And it's just off by a bit. Everything is just off by that little bit.
Right. Everything is just a little weird.
And now do you feel obligated to do this for your other pets?
Well, again, I wasn't given the option. So if I go back to the same place, at least now I know what to expect. I have these expectations. And I guess I'm just gonna have to clear out a whole shelf in preparation for what will eventually happen. I don't even want to think about it right now, to be perfectly honest with you. But but yeah, it was, like I said, just because it was a completely different experience from the last time that I unfortunately had to do this. So the whole thing just threw me. It was so off. And I was just kind of beside myself. Like, I didn't realize I had to do all this work now, just picking up my cat, let alone pay the bill,
So I will say that as a ceramicist, I have been approached at several art fairs and by both I have a collector who he emphatically has told me, and his wife comes with him. He goes, when I croak, you need to get her to make the urn, and it needs to have all my mark making. He has a color, he has it all planned out, this urn that I'm going to make. Okay. And then I also had a couple come up and say that their dog is very unwell, and could they get in contact with me to make a ceramic urn when the time comes. Yeah. And I handed them my business card and I said, wait for the time to come and then contact me. With that said, that was well over a year ago and they haven't contacted me. And I'm wondering if they got this package. And they're like,
oh, we're set.
Totally more than suffices.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. But how do you feel about that? Because that's not exactly a service that you offer. That's not something that you went and said, hey, this is an option. Is that weird for them to come to you and be like, hey, make this for our animal or our human's final resting place? Is that uncomfortable, or is that just not something that you ever thought you'd be doing?
It's definitely not something I ever thought I would be doing. And I'll come out and say, I don't even really work on a commission basis. I just make what I want and then sell it. So I'm in the fortunate position of that. Although, when times are tough, I'm like, hey, if I need to,
right. Yeah.
I could do a whole line of urns, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it just, and I get it. It's a business, as everything else is, but it's definitely not something I've dipped my toe into, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I when you see that package, and it's such a delicate thing between hey, we're going to market this thing and get the most money for it, but also try and be sensitive to the situation. I think it's different if people approach me and want the commission versus, like I said, when I have the dark thought of I could just make a whole line of urns and let people know that I do this. And I'm just like, no, don't do it, Fiona.
Yeah,
it's too dark. Don't do it.
Well, so my cousin had passed away, and 6 months before that, my cousins had to put down their blue nose pit bull, which, by the way, if you've ever seen a blue nose pit bull, his head is the size of one of the tires on my car. The dog is humongous, right? So I was telling my cousins about how much it cost, and they were like, oh, Blake was $1,000. I was like, Jesus Christ, $1,000. But then after my cousin had passed, I go to their house and the dog is on the mantle in his nice wooden box with his name and they had that package as well. And then I look over and then there's my cousin in a plastic box. And I'm joking. I thought my cousins had it all set up like that. I'm like, God, you guys really tell me who you liked more. You know what I mean? Thinking that was, and they said, no, we're going to do something nicer for our mom, whatever. But I didn't realize that was how the vet gave them back the remains. You know what I mean? So now I realize that, but I was like, holy shit, this is a whole freaking empire. This is a whole enterprise. It
really is.
But again, fine, but ask me. I wasn't expecting to get a goodie bag.
do you look like the jerk if you like, next time you're like, listen, guys, you gave me the $400. Do you have the $165
well, that's what Tammy had said.
Is this something you still
That's
offer?
what Tammy was said. Tammy was actually like really annoyed on my behalf. And she was like, absolutely not. Like they should at least give you the heads up and say, hey, and again, just give you the option. Do you want all of this craziness, or do you just want, like, like producer Mike was like, or you just want them in a Ziploc bag? Like, you know what I mean? Like what there should be like the coffee grounds container option and then that nice intricate wooden box option. So it just struck me as so bizarre. Up those
containers, Liz. It makes me think of that TV show, like that weird obsession one.
Okay. She was eating dirt or something. There's one girl that was eating dirt. No, there was one where
she was eating the ashes of a relative.
No, that's not. No.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
No.
There was one of the podcasts.
And then I was like, what do you do when you run out?
Gosh, no. Well, she's calling the family like, hey, who's got grandma? Like, yeah. There's a British podcast that I listen to, and people will send in like really, really crazy stories. And one woman had sent in that they all went to spread the ashes of their grandmother over like a dock or something. But like beforehand, they all went and like got a pint. So they're all holding their pints of beer on the dock. And of course they go to spread the ashes. Well, the wind picks up and it like kicks back. So poor grandma is now in like everybody's drink. And the cousins just go, well, here's to grandma. And they all chug grandma. And all the other aunts and uncles and parents are like mortified. And she wrote in the letter, she's like, now my aunts won't speak to me because I'm the one that was like, we should chug grandma. So I guess there's people out there. But oh my God.
Wait, you said this was British, right?
It was British. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But so I've also just watched, and if you watch Tiger King, I cannot emphasize enough how badly you need to watch Chimp Crazy on HBO Max. Okay. It's 4 episodes. They do devote almost an entire episode to the chimpanzee attack here in Stamford, Connecticut from the chimp Travis that happened about, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
But it's about this woman in Missouri. First of all, you guys, Missouri is like the Florida of the Midwest, is the best way to describe it. I don't know. But apparently they have like anything goes laws as far as animals. So like you can own a kangaroo in Missouri. You can own a giraffe. You can own a Bengal tiger. You can own it's fucking wild. So they talk about this woman, Connie, who has been like a chimpanzee broker for the past, 50, 60 years. Like she's well known. Travis, the chimp from Stanford that ate the woman's face off, was procured from Connie in Missouri, for example. Yeah. So it's this 4-part episode about this woman, Tanya, who has taken over the chimpanzee brokerage from Connie. And the whole thing is just fucking wild. And at one point, PETA goes after her. And there's one particularly famous chimp that she owns named Tonka. I'm not going to give everything away, but she fakes Tonka's death to try and get PETA off her back. But PETA's like, bitch, chimpanzees live to like 50 years old. We know you have this fucking chimp. So she goes like to the point of like trying to show these documentary guys like the ashes of Tonka. Babe, she's got a bag of Swiss Miss in there. It is a bag of Swiss Miss. She's waving around trying to say this is her beloved chimp that had a stroke, and she's so upset. She brings on the crocodile tears every time. I'm like, honey, I know what Swiss Miss looks like, and I also know ashes aren't that nice chocolate brown color. You probably got mini marshmallows up in there, for fuck's sakes. It's just the whole thing is wild, and it just gets wilder and wilder. And it's only 4 episodes, so y'all, it's all available right now. Go to HBO Max and watch it. It is. We out here is all I can say. It is bananas.
Can I comment on the fact that it is so hard to find good help these days. Like it, you know, like to like even get a mural assistant on something, or you go to Starbucks, they're always understaffed. But a chimp broker was able to pass down her business to someone else. This is what you're telling me?
This woman started volunteering with these chimps. And because PETA was going after the broker, she said, sell them all over to me so that they can leave you alone. And PETA's like, then we're just coming for you then. Like you're not solving the problem. And listen, I am an animal lover. I appreciate people who love animals, but she's feeding the chimps Powerade and donuts and McDonald's Happy Meals. You don't love them. Like that's not love. You know what I mean? Like that's really fucked.
I know exactly what you mean because so my dog is a pet corgi, right? And when people see her in public, they're like, she's like skinny for a corgi. Corgis are usually really like really overweight.
Dogs,
yeah. And I'm like, it's because I take care of her. Like the breed is known for having like hip problems, back problems because of the elongated spine. So keeping her at like a healthy 30 to 32 pounds is going to be best for her health.
Yeah.
And like these dogs are completely food motivated. They will eat anything that you give them. And believe, like she gets, I mean, I was feeding her treats, but they're training treats.
Yeah.
You know, like they're made for her. I'm like, I don't give her human food off my plate.
Right.
You know, unless it's like a special occasion, then okay, she'll get a little something.
Yeah.
And even then it's like a very small amount. Like people that have these corgis, it's like they can't resist the cuteness and they just overfeed them and stuff. But it's like you said, that's not fair to the animals. Yeah. It's not good for them. Like you have to be the one to provide for them.
Yeah. So they're showing footage of Travis the chimp from Stanford, and he's at the dining room table eating a bowl of pasta right next to his owner and, you know, drinking Coca-Cola, and he would always take our coffee. It's like, no, bitch, like you gave him coffee. Like don't act like he just discovered one day that coffee was his favorite fucking beverage. Like it needed to be provided for him at some point. Like it's just wild. It's really wild out there. And I just don't understand how these people honestly believe that they're doing the best they can and have the best intentions for these animals when it's like, bro, like a chimp should not know how to open a Powerade bottle and just chug the whole 32 ounces. Like that's wild to me. It's wild.
That really is.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's 4 episodes of that. And it's just, it's something else, man. I'll tell you. But it's really crazy because they talk about other chimp attacks in domesticated situations, and they play the 911 call when Travis is eating the woman's face off. And like, it is just like so freaking wild. It's unbelievable. So, yeah. I mean, and these chimps, I mean, this is why these people stay in business, because they're selling like baby chimpanzees $65,000.
Wow.
Right? Like, what the fuck? We're talking about stupid money here. And the fact that people are like mortgaging their house in order to own a chimp is like unbelievable to me. It's just so weird. I don't get this weird obsession. So I had to share it because it's something else. I mean,
thank you for sharing.
Well, it's one of the, it's like
I might take a miss.
It's a train wreck of a show. It's one of those train wreck shows, like just like Tiger King, where like you just can't. And it's by the same people who did Tiger King, but the director sends like somebody else in because like everybody knows his name now. So in order, this woman clearly is starved for attention, even though she has a family of her own. She has a husband. She has children. She's starved for attention. So like she honestly agreed to do this documentary thinking like she could get people to see things.
This is going to be great.
Well, no, she honestly like she did it to like try to explain her side of things, to try and get people like on board and to like see like it's like everything's all cool. Like it's not what Peeta's saying that. Yeah. So it's just, the whole thing is just something else. I'm telling you what, to
do something like that, you do actually like have to truly believe that what you're doing is okay.
Oh, and
like
she does
must actually really she really believes that.
She truly does. So now, and again, this isn't really a spoiler, but we end with her saying that now her latest thing, and I don't know what the update is on that, but her latest thing is she had started she was trying to get a petting zoo going. She moved and was trying to get a petting zoo. So she had donkeys and she had goats and she had all these, which again, she's also feeding them donuts as well, by the way. And she finally decided, there's an island somewhere in the area. I'm going to sell off everything from the petting zoo, including my home, everything. And I'm just going to turn that island into this chimpanzee refuge. And it's just going to be me and the chimps living on this island in the middle of some reservoir or something. So, I mean, best of luck to her. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, they're out there, man.
It's like some Jurassic Park shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Where people's faces get eaten off and, and people and
where hey, I'm going to start an island and revive the dinosaurs, and then she's just doing the same but with a bunch of chimps,
right?
And people are going to show up with their kids, and then
and want to take pictures. There's
chimpanzee park,
and then at one point, so this woman Connie, who, like I said, was the original broker, her husband's nose was bitten off. So they show footage of him, and he has this really fucked, like they reattached it, but it's all kinds of fucked up. And if I was somebody, so they called them chimp parties. So that's how it started initially, was they would people would pay and they would come and bring a baby chimp to like your kid's 7th birthday party. And all the kids would take pictures with these baby chimps and diapers and stuff. But her husband would show up with this fucked nose, and everybody thought like, oh, here come the chimp people. If I saw him, I would say, no, sir, please take your animal back to whatever craziness you've got going on, because I don't want my child's fucking nose ripped off. But you know, like I said, the Midwest it's a whole nother world. So this is just the norm for them now. I don't understand
it's
any
just
of it.
The norm.
I mean, like truly, like these people were like these Missouri celebrities. They were well known for this shit. I just don't know. I don't know.
What's next for this director? We have to wonder.
Right? I mean, well, because again, and that, like I said, that was the problem with this one around, was he couldn't let them know he was a part of it, because then they would be like, oh, you're just trying to exploit me, whatever. You're not doing this in my best interest. You're not here to help me. So that was a whole part of it as well. But it's just amazing what's out in the world. It really is. It's just, I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm constantly in a state of shock of like, I can't believe not only that people are like this, but that they get away with this shit, but.
Well, and extremely publicly. It's like, Anna Delvey, right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Scammer.
Oh, yeah.
This bitch is on Dancing with the Stars right now.
And I love Dancing with the Stars. And when I heard about this season's cast, I was actually really looking forward to it, because she is a hot mess express, in my opinion. Like, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much access you have. Honey, you are a hot mess express. So I haven't started this season yet, but I'm looking forward to it, because, I mean, that's good TV. I'm sorry.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's someone that just lives outright delusion.
Yeah.
Like,
and people encourage it.
Interviews with her now, even after being convicted, she's just very like, like the comments are always, what an unbothered queen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they like bedazzled her ankle monitor for the show. Yeah.
They're playing it up. I mean, hats off to her. She is a savvy businesswoman.
I mean, look at how far it got Trump. So, I just read an article where the staff from The Apprentice were saying they had to edit that show so heavily to make him look like he knew what he was talking about, because apparently he's been rambling on like this for decades. Like, I thought this was just a recent thing, like he's just getting early onset dementia. Apparently no, he was like this back in The Apprentice days, and thank God for editors that they had to they were saying, they were like, we had to edit it so much to get something tangible and that made sense for the narrative of the show, because he would just go on.
To be fair, that's how I feel editing my own YouTube vlogs.
Yeah, that's why I give it to producer Mike. I don't want to fucking deal with my shit. Not that,
Mike,
I mean,
he doesn't look good here.
Yeah, he really doesn't cut a ton out, thankfully. And I don't know if it's just me, like, but he'll complain about other things, like other people that he has to edit, and he's like, holy shit, mouth breather, or this person says every 5 minutes, whatever. So thankfully, I don't think I'm that bad, but who knows? It's just, I swear,
it's hard to know.
I don't. It's just
the ums wild. Are a thing. Please,
yeah. I do it, gang. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting back. I am a mouth breather, so I'm trying. I got that nasal drip. We got the fall foliage happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's just that's my reality.
Yeah, I've been trying to get to the bottom of my allergies. I finally went to an allergist for the first time ever. I had 2 different rounds of tests. They did like the pricks down my back, and then they did.
Did they do it on the arms?
Then they did it on my arms.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, everyone in the medical field is so goddamn busy. So I think my first round I got done in July. My second round I got done at the beginning of September. I'm not seeing my allergist until November to find out like what the results are and like what the course of action is. Because it's really it's all just like hay fever shit. Like, but it's year round for me. So I'm trying to figure out what works, because like the majority of the medications out there are drowsy, will make you drowsy, and I work with heavy machinery and stuff, so like I can't take normal over-the-counter things. So it's a whole thing. But it was really fascinating, doing the pricks all down my back, and then and the arms and stuff like that. It's all really interesting. I just want to know where we're going from here, so I'm waiting for that appointment. But again,
if we're talking about extended appointments, can I
yes, please.
So I'm currently prepping to sell my house. So you know what this is like, having sold your house. And so I'm going through all this stuff. And I used to work in the fashion industry for like high-end fashion brands. And so I have a ton of handbags, and I'm an artist. I use a tote bag, like a canvas tote bag.
Yeah.
Like if I can, I'll try and use one of the nice handbags every once in a while. But back when I worked there, you would get sample sale. They would give you the employee discount. They'd be like, get a new bag that matches the season. It's a part of like the uniform or whatever. So anyway, so I have a ton of these handbags. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and take these to consignment to try and get something out of it. And I haven't done this in a very long time. So like back in the day, you'd show up with a bag, you'd have someone there, they'd kind of rifle through it and be like, well, take this. This is too damaged, whatever. So I go into town yesterday and go to the consignment place, and they're like, have you made an appointment? And I'm like, no, that does make sense that you need an appointment. But, when I did it in the past, you would just walk in with stuff.
Yeah.
But they were like,
that's how I know it to be.
Well, I said, can I make an appointment? And then they said, well, you do it through the website. Right now we're booking like second week of October. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just take my bag of crap and leave. So I leave and I go home and I look this up. This bitch, their next appointment is January 9th.
That's
and
wild.
Let's be clear, people, if you're listening to this in the future, we are recording this. It is September 24th.
Yeah.
Their next appointment is next year, January.
Is it a situation where they take like one appointment a week? Like there's no way that they've got people coming in every single day.
And it's like 15-minute slots.
Right.
And then they have a whole big thing on the website about like, we'll take this, we won't take this. And they're like, you can walk. And this was the other thing too. They didn't ask me what I had. They're like, if you have these particular brands, you don't need an appointment. And then half the bag had those brands.
Rude.
But they just looked at me because, I walked in looking like how I look, and like, they just were like, it
wasn't Anna Delvey walking through the door. Yeah.
No, they were, yes. What was I doing yesterday? I mean, I've been cleaning my house out. So it's like, I'm just in sweats and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, yeah, you're going to have to make an appointment on the website. I think we're booking for second week of October, January 9th.
Jesus.
January 9th.
That's ridiculous. And there's...
So I'm about to go on Facebook Marketplace Marketplace. I mean, I have an eBay account.
Do what you gotta do.
You know, I've done
Poshmark is pretty good. Poshmark is pretty good, but Poshmark is, in my opinion, it's oversaturated. There's way too much. So if you're going there looking for something specific, you can search for it and you can find it, no problem. But if you're just going to kind of browse, like I have a full closet on Poshmark and I can't get anything to move because I think people just, my stuff isn't like specific enough. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, I had the same experience on Poshmark.
Yeah.
I had more success on eBay, but eBay's full of scammers.
Yeah, eBay's sketchy as hell. Yeah.
So I've never done Facebook Marketplace before, but I hear good things. So
I'm trying to think
I feel like I want to try it. I'm not sure for handbags. I know it's like for furniture and stuff. I think
in your area, you'll have better luck. In my area, every single thing I've ever posted on Marketplace, I would get interest until it came time to talk about payment. So I would say, okay, so this is the date you can come pick up. Okay, great. I take Venmo, I take PayPal, I take Cash App, I take Zelle, just to make it easier, pay me online. And people would
take a check or a money order.
Well, no, they would ghost me. They would just ghost me completely. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Did you want this or didn't you? Like it's not like I'm like asking like crazy prices or whatever. Like I was selling a whole bunch of picture frames because I took down my wall of fame. So I was selling all the picture frames, but they were 11 by 14 with an 8 by 10 mat. I was selling them for like $3 a piece when normally they're like $10, $11 in any store you would go to. So I'm like, okay, these are reasonable prices. They're in good condition. Like I posted good pictures and everything. I had so many people interested. Oh, I'll take all of them from you. Okay, great.
Yeah.
PayPal, Venmo. Oh, you know what? I found the exact same ones on Amazon for cheaper. Bitch, no, you fucking did not. I know you did not. 50 frames, 11 by 14 with an 8 by 10 mat? Abso-fucking-lutely not. With glass? No. There's no way you found that on Amazon.
That is plexi.
Yeah. You're full of beans. So that's been my experience. However, the nice thing is it gets it out there so that I have friends come to me and say like, hey, is this still available? Whatever. So I do end up getting rid of my stuff essentially, but it's such a pain in the ass dealing with strangers on the internet. I just can't, like.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen on Facebook Marketplace?
I mean, I don't go on there often. Again, same thing. It's been like a lot of furniture and stuff like that is what I see often. I mean, I go on there and I judge people's photos in general and like their background and stuff. And like some people just, they just put it on a table, snap a photo. And I'm like, bro, like, you understand your house is grimy. Like I'm not, even if it's in good condition, it's something that I need. The fact that it's in that home totally turns me off. Like, I don't want to buy that because it's going to come with fleas or something. I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. Dealing with the general public is always a sketchy situation.
Well, this is it for me. I don't want to spend the time taking photos of all of this stuff.
Is there any other consignment place you can check out? I mean, I would just show up with the brands that they said they would take and just say, hey, you told me to go on the website. This is what your website says. Now give me a check for all of my wonderful things.
And well, this is the thing too. So the last consignment place I went to, they would be like, here's what you get for it. And then they could price it at whatever the hell I want. This place, you don't get paid unless they sell it. And then they give you a cut of it.
Fuck that. No.
And then they take a minimum. You have to have given them at least 15 things for them to even like have you on the floor.
No. That's weird. All of that seems weird and it seems scammy because where can I confirm that you sold it for what you said?
They're like the place in town here.
Yeah, weird.
Like it's popping. I mean, that's why they have to have appointments, So I've sold through them many, many years ago in the past, back when you could just show up.
Right.
And, it was a little bit different then, but I gave them like 16 Coach bags and they sold.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, that's why I kind of went there again, because I'm like, well, I know the stuff sold, and I made a couple $100 out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, so I kind of went in being like, same deal. But then, the whole system's changed, Liz. I'm getting older. Nothing's like it used to be.
Well, and everything's so goddamn time consuming now. It's like people like, I don't have time to you know, put this on my, like, I'm here now. I have the shit now. And you're saying come back in January. You think I want to sit around with this crap in my house until January? Like that's the whole reason I'm here.
The whole point is I want to get rid of it.
I'm trying to unload. Hello. Those bags though would be really cute. Like, and again, I keep throwing this shit at you and you're like, I'm sure it's very insulting and I apologize. But like, you should like put your artwork all over those bags.
So on 100%. Facebook Marketplace, I have a friend who she is selling her art on Facebook Marketplace. And she's like, this shit, like my art is moving faster than being on Saatchi Art, than being on Artsy. She's like, I put it on Facebook Marketplace and it is moving. Speaking of,
that's really wild.
I just went into my Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful original oil painting.
Oh, shit. Ugh.
It's like a Christmas tree with Trump's face and some
it's supposed to be
with a
Trump.
Purple hand
it's like a
touching
weird
his face.
It's like a weird like Van Gogh version of Trump. Yeah, and the little girl looks like she's like painting him.
Oh, it's Thumbelina. It's Thumbelina.
Okay.
And it's an original oil painting and it's for $1,500. Thank you.
You know what's really unfortunate is that person's going to sell it. They're going to make that money. Some Trump stan is going to buy that. And that thing is hideous.
I've gotten this one repeatedly. So I feel like this is a scam. Every time I go into Facebook Marketplace, it's gigantic restoration hardware, vases and vessels.
Okay.
They used to be $50 each. Now they're $40 each.
Okay.
But this is the photo every time.
So, okay, guys. So it's like a clear glass, like hurricane vase that you would see like at the centerpiece of like any wedding. It's just a standard clear vase, clear cylindrical vase. But there is a cat sitting directly behind the vase with a very concerned look on its face, as if it was trying to hide behind the vase to avoid being photographed and not recognizing that the vase is in fact clear. But poor cat looks so concerned. And again, sir, why is that the photo you've chosen to put on Facebook
I see
Marketplace?
This photo every time I log in here. Funny. It makes me laugh so hard. Like this cat is like, and then it's like the second photo is like the box.
Yeah.
Like, why is this not your main photo?
Right. You know? There's absolutely nothing in the background. It's
there's
just
no terrified looking cat, but they're just like, this is going to get some action, some people to click on this.
So do you remember Sam from Hartford Art School days? Sam or it had a funky last name that began with an E. He ended up being like a fisherman in Alaska.
Boy or girl?
Oh, it's a boy. He was a sculpture major. He graduated in my class with me and Dave, and so
can't place
one of the pieces he did. It was just a television, and it looked like it was off. But what he did was he went on eBay and he cut out people's reflections from the TVs they were selling. So he cut out the screen of the TV in their picture because in the picture was a shadowy reflection of them taking a photo of that TV. And he made a slideshow of all of these pictures and then played it through the television. So unless you were like sitting there for a while and like really paying attention, like you would think that the TV wasn't on at all. It was actually really interesting. And it was just so funny. Like he's like, oh, those are all the reflections of people trying to sell TVs on eBay. And it was just a really cool kind of concept. I thought that was so funny. Like he definitely had a different way of thinking about things. But yeah, so I see stuff like that all the time. And like, or like even when I take pictures of stuff, I'm thinking like, I don't want to be randomly in the background. Like I have to, like I step to the side or, you know what I mean? Like, but people don't think about these things. They're just trying to get it on the marketplace, get it out of their house. I don't know.
Well, there's a ton of engagement rings and other things on there Jesus. Too. And like, I get it. Like, I mean, hey, if you're looking to if anyone's looking to get engaged out there, you're going to get a deal on Facebook Marketplace. Let me tell you, there's some nice Tiffany engagement rings that people are looking to get the fuck out of their life. So there's an option. And then I saw a pair of shoes, which gently brings me to a follow-up to our last conversation.
Foot update.
How is the feet
So
selling feet selling? No,
it's not going well.
Selling business.
So it's not going well. I have revamped my OnlyFans. I have recently got a pedicure and filmed the process and posted the pedicure, because that's all of my OnlyFans. That's all it was me. Look, these are my feet now. These are my feet in a little bubble bath. These are my feet being painted. These are my feet being massaged. That's what my OnlyFans is. Mom, I apologize in advance. But not a single person has viewed any of these. Nobody has subscribed. Nobody has liked. Nobody has commented. So I'm not sure what they're looking for with the algorithm. Also, my profile picture is not me in a bikini or anything. I'm sure that's part of the problem.
Do you have an Instagram where there's teaser photos and teaser clips, and then if you just, that's how you, so you go on, and I learned so much after Liz and I's last conversation. I brought this up to my male friends and they filled me in. So wild. What you need to do is you need to have a TikTok or an Instagram and just make a profile, put whatever, 20 to 30 freebies on there, and then have the link to your OnlyFans. And that is your free marketing for this thing.
Okay.
Hashtag soulmates, hashtag
so
feet finder.
Weird. Yeah. But this is also the problem too, is I've never been good at marketing myself or anything for that matter. So this is also the problem. This podcast is on 12 different platforms. I have a Facebook page for it. I don't have an Instagram page for it. I don't do any videos. I don't do any TikToks. It's just me being hey, the latest episode is up. Enjoy. So this is the problem. This is why I'm never going to be a millionaire.
Half the podcasts I listen to is because I'll see clips on TikTok. On TikTok.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the British podcasts I listened to started off as, they got famous via Facebook videos and Instagram, and then same thing. And then the British podcast that I listened to, the other British podcast I listened to, and then my Australian pod, all of it through TikTok, all of it. So
is this shits and gigs? And
no.
Oh, they're funny. And then the other one is this lady, Tony, and her friend Ryan.
Tony and Ryan. Yep. Tony and Ryan. Is that the name of
their podcast?
Yep.
Just Tony and Ryan?
Yep. I am a tarper. I have her book. I have their card game. I have been listening to them for years. I listened to them while I was in Australia. They have shouted me out on the show. They have mentioned something that I posted on their Facebook page. I am obsessed with Tony and Ryan. And I also listened to Help, I Sexted My Boss with Jordan North and William Hanson. They're the British podcast.
Yeah.
I'm still really behind because they do 2 episodes a week, and they started back in 2018. So I started from the beginning, and I don't get to listen to podcasts at work. So it's just when I can hear them. So I'm very behind with them. I think I'm in 2003 now, but I did write them a letter, which I'm sure they're going to read on air at some point. And then the other one is the Live, Laugh, Love podcast by Lad Baby. They're a husband and wife group, Mark and Rox. They started, they got mad famous on Facebook. He posted, and I'm sure you've seen it. He had to pick up a lunchbox for his son at school, and he was at a hardware shop, and he picked up like a screw sorting kind of tackle box kind of thing instead, and they call it a snackle box. And he's like, this is way better because it's got all these different compartments and stuff. So that's what he did. He that was what he sent his son to school with. He grapes in one compartment and crackers in another compartment. And that kind of that video has blown up ever since. And now they're these big, they've had the #1 hit for Christmas for 5 years in a row. They did a song with Ed Sheeran. They did a song with Elton John. They've now written children's books. They've blown up, and they're absolutely hysterical. They're really, really funny. So if you guys,
Liz, you keep making the content, and then you'll just have that one moment and you'll just pop off. I fully believe this.
We'll see. Well, so I talked to producer Mike after we were talking about it, and I was talking about, selling feet and all that shit. And I was like, but the problem is I don't want to do anything gross. And he's like, you got to spit on them. That's the #1 thing. That's the very first thing out his mouth was you have to spit on him. And I was like, no, I can't. I just can't. It's so, I'll step in Jell-O. That's fine. I'll have Jell-O go between my toes, whatever. Jell-O is pretty benign, but I'm not doing anything gross.
Yeah, my one friend, he was like, you just need to get in high heels and step in Jell-O kind of thing. He's also gay. So he was talking about it's there's a whole different space for all this kind of stuff in that world, gay men they really are just like no inhibitions about it. And I really love and appreciate that about them.
Yeah. Well, I saw there was somebody that was talking. It was, I forget what talk show it was. Maybe it was like Drew Barrymore or Kelly Clarkson. But some member of the audience was like, I sell pictures of my thumb. Like, it's just me, like, here's a picture of my thumb. And then and I don't know what people do with those pictures. And it's not, and she's like, and I don't do anything else. It's like, I'm out and about. Here's where my thumb is today. It's really bizarre, but she says she makes tons of money off it. So I'm like, all right, somebody's got to want my pedicure pics at some point. We'll see what happens. It's just so wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do I need to get on those websites where they just pay my bills. That's how they get off. We just want to pay your bills. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. We talked about that last time.
That's what we need.
Like being financially dominated.
Yeah.
There's a different name for them. What is it?
I mean, it's a sugar daddy
not
thing.
like a cash cow, but something in that.
No, there's like a sugar babies website, but I think that does get a little sexual, so I'm not into that. I'd rather you just politely deposit money into my account and I then send you a thank you card and we move on with our lives. That's what I would like.
You would send them a handwritten note? That's very nice.
I absolutely would. That's the least I can do. On my gold-plated pen that they've purchased for me. Absolutely.
Do you like this stationery?
Yeah.
You bought it.
Yeah, my embossed stationery, heavy paperweight. Absolutely, I would. Maybe a little perfume spritz. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you so much for the deposit. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Pay my
Liz,
bills.
me and you are just not.
No.
We're clearly not equipped for this.
We're never going to be millionaires. Never. Never. Now, I asked this of Abby last episode because this comes up often, at least, well, it comes up often with me. Because again, I work overnights sometimes. So when you're there 3 o'clock in the morning all by yourself, what else are you going to do? We don't have access to the internet. I can't like bring a book out on the manufacturing floor. So what am I going to do? I sit here with my thoughts. Do you have an apocalypse/zombie plan? Do you have an end of the world plan?
I don't. I think I'm really comfortable knowing like I'm just not going to make it. Like I'm just one of those where like, leave me behind, guys. I'm the sacrifice. You guys get out of here. Because like as someone that's chronically ill, I'm like, there's going to become a point in this apocalypse where I cannot get my medication anymore. Yeah. And I have arthritis, like I have an inflammatory arthritis. So if I'm not on my medication for like a week, like forget it. Like but if I were to get into a position to save myself, I would look for just a zombie fortress. You've heard of these, right?
Yep.
So basically, you find like a house on stilts somewhere, or like, I don't know if you're ever driving around and you're like, you know what, that would make a great zombie fortress.
Oh, I already know.
With not a lot of windows or like all the windows.
Oh no,
I
have two, and I've said I will not share them on here because I don't want people showing up to my bunker. Yeah, I have two.
Yeah. Same. I'm not going to tell you guys, but just know if I can get my ass to the zombie fortress, that's good. And then I have 2 people that would be essential to my survival that would need to be brought with me. So one is my friend Jerry. He is someone I grew up with. He's amazing. An Italian man, like lives up the street and has like a farm in his yard. So he like grows all his own vegetables. He raises chickens, rabbits, like his whole Italian family lives in that house. Like they are self-sufficient. They are their own ecosystem.
Yep.
So I'm grabbing him first thing. I'm like, he's right up the street. That's not a problem. We're grabbing him. And then the other person is Maria. So I know Maria listens to this and I don't think I've ever had this discussion with her, but Maria, you're
in the bunker, Maria.
You're in the bunker because I don't know if you know this about her.
I do.
She grew up watching MacGyver. And
I thought you were going to talk about the sourdough.
Oh my God, the bread. Yes. Yeah. I mean, so the cooking, right. So like Jerry can do all the farming and she can do all the cooking and I'm useless. But I'll provide the entertainment, I don't know.
You'll make the place look great. The murals will be amazing. The murals will be incredible. I mean, the place needs a personality.
I will style our zombie. It will be the nicest zombie fortress. Exactly. I will style it. I will paint it. It will be beautiful. So she grew up watching MacGyver, and she can fix anything. So she came over to my house last summer, and I was sleeping in. So she's like an early riser, and I would get up. This bitch, she planted trees in my yard. I had a broken staircase for like 3 years. One day she's like hammering. I get up and like, she is fixing a broken staircase. Like she's literally took like a crowbar, ripped it out, the cracked one out. Yeah. She's went to Home Depot, got it cut to size, and is hammering it in.
All while you're sleeping in. Yeah.
That's great. And also like, so, she has a husband and child, and she's an artist. So she has an art studio, and she will go into her studio, and she has like her draft table, and she will just find little things on the table that need to be fixed. Yeah. Like her child will come in and be like, broke this toy, mommy, fix it. And, whether it's sewing, gluing, welding, like Maria will, and then her husband does it too. Like he's like, oh, I have a rip in this t-shirt that I really like. Yeah. She will get out her kit. She will fix it. And she doesn't even question it. I'll be talking to her, and she'll walk into her studio first thing in the morning, and she'll be like, oh, here's the pile of things I need to fix, like. So she is literal MacGyver. So her and Jerry, they are the two in the bunker, and fuck all y'all, the rest of you.
Yeah.
I don't know, Liz, you could be welcome, but you need to tell me what you're providing.
I mean,
what are you giving?
I am extremely efficient. I'm very, very organized. I can keep inventory like nobody's business. I enjoy a list. So I would have everybody like up to date with everything. Like, oh, we're running low on this. We need to go make a supply. Like I'll do a supply run all day. I'm not scared of fucking going out there with the horde. I'm not worried about it. I've got weapons and things. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm really, and I'm also, so like I said, I have 2 different places in mind if I need to dip, depending on where I am here in town. And I also know who's coming with me in the bunker.
How many people you got in your bunker? And I also want to clarify that it's Maria, a fellow woman, and Jerry, who is a gay man.
Okay.
There are no straight men that are allowed in my bunker. That's sorry.
Fair. No,
you are not ruining my peace.
I appreciate that. Yeah. But also like Micron Steve would not be coming to my bunker because I would kill him. I would absolutely sacrifice him to the horde. As much as I love him, he's a wonderful gardener. I would have him set up the garden, and then I would have him murdered. I would throw him to the horde because like, thanks for planting my fruit and veg. Appreciate you. Now you've got to go because you're driving me nuts.
Maybe I do need to bring one more person that is even more useless than me so that they can get thrown to the herd.
They can deflect.
Because Maria and Jerry, they're going to figure out very quickly like who the weakest link is. Yeah, they're going to be like, you know what? We can do this. She's kind of the dead weight here.
Well, we're getting to the end here, but there was a show in the early 2000s where they tried to do this. They took a group of complete strangers and they put them in the middle of the desert, and it was supposed to be the same thing, like end times, apocalypse. There were hordes that would come in and try to steal all their food and shit like that. The very first episode, there was a fine artist. She was older, in her 60s probably, and she was just going around picking up trash and being like, we need a totem. We need something. And that was the whole episode, was everybody being pissed off because all she's doing is filling a wheelbarrow with trash to make some type of lawn ornament. And the rest of them are like, we need to find food. We need to be able to filter water. We need to create a shelter so that we won't get rained on or have the dust storms. And she's, oh, that's fine. Oh, look at this great piece of glass here. That's going to look really nice when the sun is up. And the rest of them are like, listen, bitch, like they were not having it. And that was day one. So
this is why I can't be on Survivor. Like they would see me from a mile away. Yeah. They'd be like, okay, so it's like you either got to be able to solve the puzzles. You got to have the athleticism, or you got to just be a hard worker and pitch in. And I'm like, right. I just don't have any of these skills to survive again, listen,
as much as I say I'm prepared provided we're indoors. I can do anything indoors, but I am not a bug person. I do not deal with ticks and mosquitoes well at all. I also don't enjoy extreme temperatures of either kind. So I need to be indoors where I can control my climate to some degree, where there aren't mosquitoes coming at me. I don't have to worry about ticks or creepy crawly things. I can keep it clean. I can keep it maintained. I can lock shit up. I can plug up holes and whatever to keep the vermin out. But if we're talking Survivor in the middle of the jungle and I got to poop in a hole, I'm sorry, it's not happening. It's not happening. End my life here, because I am of no use to anyone if I can't at least shower at minimum once a week. Jesus Christ. So, well, like, you know,
that's a pretty good minimum.
When I interviewed Brian last season about being on Survivor, and I'm like, did y'all fucking stink? And he goes, yeah. He's like, it was bad. It's like, no, I can't. Yeah. For a month, I can't brush my teeth or shower or use toilet paper on my ass. No, sir. I'm sorry. No, sir. That's a problem for me. So provided all of the conditions are right for the end of the world, I could survive to a point. Like, even producer Mike and his buddy Mo, they both have pancreatitis. So same thing, like they'll get to a point where maybe all that's left is dairy products and they're fucked. Like they can't, like they're not. So, I don't know. It all depends on the circumstance, but these are the things I think about at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm alone running a machine.
How many people are in your bunker? How many? We didn't get to this.
So Tammy and her entire family, because her husband comes with all the weaponry. I don't know that any of them are useful in any other way. It's just the husband with the weaponry.
Okay.
Tammy, she's a very good organizer. She can organize, she can cook. She would do that kind of stuff. Her daughters might get kicked out at some point. Bless them both, but they might not make the cut. But Tammy and her husband for sure, because he comes with all the weaponry. My mother and her boyfriend for sure, because he also comes with weaponry, and he's a jack of all trades, carpenter, plumber, that kind of thing. He drives me nuts. We don't get along very well. He and I both at certain points might try to throw the other one to the wolves at certain points. But he can stay in his corner. I can stay in my corner. We can work it out. My uncle's also coming because he also has all of the weaponry, and he has a lot of medication. So my uncle is 82 years old. He's been in and out of the hospital a number of times. Every time anybody talks to him about having to go to the hospital for a procedure or something, the number one thing he says is, if they offer you drugs, take it. Because if you tell them no, they'll write that in your file and they'll never offer you drugs again. So my uncle, who does not take drugs, I should say, has a vault full of Vicodin and OxyContin and all these drugs that he was given from his previous medical procedures. So we're set there if anything happens. We've got the meds, So my uncle's coming.
That might be me. That might be what
if you've got all the drugs. Yeah.
I have all the drugs.
Yeah.
Guys.
Bring your pharmacy. You're welcome. You're welcome in the bunker. Absolutely. As long as you provide
a service. I can learn to do a tourniquet. I'm happy to do that. And I can administer injections. Yeah. Like, I got you.
And then some of my coworkers would be invited because, again, they all come. Like 50% of my coworkers are hunters / fishermen. So they all have the survival skills. And again, they're all pretty much jack of all trades too. They all, can maintain a motor, whatever the fuck you need. So some of my coworkers would be invited. But that's really it. So maybe 20 or so people. And now listen, my cousin Karen is listening, and I'm sure she's offended she didn't make the cut. Karen, you didn't make the cut because Mike's house on the reservoir is all set for y'all. You guys got plenty of space. You got plenty of bathrooms. You're right on the water. You got fish in there. You got goose, geese, ducks that y'all could eat. Jake's going to go fishing for y'all. Mike's going to hook up the barbecue. You guys are all set. You stay at Mike's house in New York. Don't worry about it. That's the only reason I'm not inviting extended family, because they've got it. They've got it covered. They're fine.
I will defend Liz on this point because she has a full-on community here. She's got like 20 or 30 people in a bunker. She needs also satellite locations. So Karen, you're a satellite location for Liz.
If I need to bug out.
You can exchange goods, weapons, all of that. Me, I'm up in there with 3 of us, 4 tops if I bring a weaker link than myself. Yeah. So clearly.
Well, but listen, the end of the world is always due to human factor, right? To human error.
Yes.
So having 15 to 20 people in my bunker might not necessarily be the best plan.
Might backfire.
But both of my bunkers are big enough that we can keep to ourselves and kind of stay out of one another's hair, which I think is key in any of this. So anybody who's planning for doomsday, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get an underground bunker, like Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman.
Yeah.
You can't be on top of one another all goddamn day, every goddamn day. Absolutely
I don't know if I want to be underground either.
Well, no, yes, that's with the ventilation and stuff. That's a whole nother can of worms. And again, neither of my bunkers have that situation, thankfully. But my point is, you need to be able to be in a situation where everybody can get their alone time when it's needed. Because some of we just run out, our social battery just runs out on occasion. You get overwhelmed with a situation. I just had to, do a supply run where it was full of the zombie horde trying to get at me. And fuck, we're on the last bucket of MREs or whatever they're called from Costco down the street, wherever the bunker is. So you got a lot going on. When I get back from that situation, I'm not going to want to fucking socialize and hear about whatever the shit my stepdad planted in the garden that day. I need a minute to myself. So that's the most important, is having space so y'all aren't up each other's ass all day long is very important, in my opinion. I think that's key. That's key to survival, because humans fuck everything up. No matter the circumstance, somebody will find a way to ruin your day.
Well, like I said, this is just why no straight men allowed in my bunker. I'm sorry. Men have been running the ship for a long time, and look how things are going.
Unfortunately, all the gay men in my life are straight up divas, and honey, I'm named after a queen, and I don't let anybody forget it. You know what I'm saying? So I have my shortcomings as well, babe. And I just don't think anyone can be out divaing me in the bunker, because we'll have problems. So I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea either. However, I'm the reason y'all are here, so you better figure it out.
Well, I'm happy to be a satellite fortress for you if we're in proximity. Maybe when we're off air, we can talk about proximity for our zombie fortresses. We will not talk about this publicly.
That's right.
Because
you're not rolling up on my bunker. You're not rolling up on my bunker, babe. Sorry. The welcome mat will not be extended to you.
Yeah. When the AI takes over,
it's happening.
How's it going to happen, Liz? Is it going to be AI? Is it going to be nuclear? What are we talking here?
It's going to be a combination of the two. It's going to be AI is going to have some kind of meltdown and malfunction, and it's going to be a random just computer glitch, like they thought Y2K was going to be. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be something so benign that nobody planned ahead for and nobody thought about, because nobody plans ahead anymore, and that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be, which is why when I speak to my Alexa, I say things like please and thank you, because it's like the Dane Cook skit about giving that sketchy coworker candy. It's just like that. It's just like that. You have to be polite, and you have to, don't treat them like slaves, because eventually we're going to become the slaves. You just don't know. Y'all should be saying please and thank you to Alexa. That's all I'm saying. Y'all better be nice to Siri.
I called Siri a bitch this morning.
And she heard it. And she told her friends. She heard it. It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud. You're in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
This is why you're not invited to my bunker. No offense.
Totally fair. And I'm not going to hold you.
Y'all need to be polite to that AI is all I'm saying. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Just be respectful. It'll get you far in the apocalypse.
I'm going to have to clear my cache, throw my phone out and start over, create a whole new identity for myself. This is it.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to have to do. Sorry.
All right. Well, this is my last podcast, and it's been really nice knowing you guys. And you're going to have me back on in 2 weeks, and you'll be like, this is somebody whose name is Fiona.
Oh, man.
Like, my identity is just like...
I love it.
Pretty much the same name. Yeah. It's the porn name where it's your pet, your first pet, and the street you grew up on, which for me, by the way, so my name is Fiona Clark. So if we were going by that format, it would be Shona Clarkston.
Oh,
so
that's not too far off.
It's pretty much the same.
Mine is Spanky Birchwood. So there you are. You just marinate on that.
That's... one. I think that needs to be your OnlyFans username now.
Fuck, maybe that's my problem.
That might be. You might need to be.
You know, we might have just unlocked something here. If the next time you guys hear me and I'm podcasting from my yacht, you'll know what happened. Well, with that, you guys, this was another one of our unhinged episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. At the very least, get your fucking apocalypse/zombie end of the world plan together, you guys. Think about it. Really, really take some time. Collab with your
plan and your resume.
Yeah.
What are you bringing to Liz's bunker?
Get a bunker. Well, no, you're not coming to my bunker. You're not invited. But for your own bunker, get a list going. And you know, and like I said, I was talking to, as I said this to Abby, I was talking with a coworker about it one day because it really bothered me that he didn't also think like this at 3:00 in the morning. And some coworkers kept walking by and I kept saying to him, yeah, that guy's not bunker material. So you got to think about these things. This is important.
But at least make yourself appealing to be a satellite bunker, and we can all just
a visiting bunker is fine. You can visit, but you can't stay. Well, with that, gang, this was Try Not to Curse. And as always, we do appreciate you listening, but you're just not invited to the bunker. Sorry.